most of this Bendy bill, I believe you have inherited from the NMS. Is there any ongoing understanding with the national government that the national government takes responsibility of some of these bills? Because these bills are just too huge for you to pay. So is there any negotiation ongoing?
Chair, if you look at Article 187 of our Constitution that provides for transfer of functions, it is normally when there is a need to assist one level of government be in a stronger position. That failed experiment left Nairobi worse off in terms of costs, because remember, the Nairobi county government through its assembly appropriated 27 billion shillings to that entity. The national government did some projects for that entity, but despite that, they left 16 billion pending. And so, because of that, in our first year, we had a huge, discussion. With that time, the office of the president, I think the status controller once even came to this house, and we agreed that those bills will be paid by the national government, including even gratuity for staff. So what we have seen them doing, because they did the final handover report to us, that was done. We have seen them year on year appropriating some money through the National Assembly to settle those bills. So the pace is not quick, and that delays handing over. And even when I said we have no stalled projects, if you look at what I've listed, a lot of them are what had remained under NMS that is now being brought back to us, and then before my time. Yeah, but within our time, all projects have been funded. Further to that, Senator Chair, there are no projects that we have said should not be completed from previous administrations. It will be a great disservice to Nairobians if the second governor abandons all the projects initiated by the first governor, and then the third governor, now we've had a few in Nairobi, that I say I didn't like the previous one and I leave his projects. Chair, we started with Governor Kidero's projects that were not concluded. The one which is really for me a painful one is the rehabilitation center in Ruai. Yeah, we have a huge rehabilitation center that has taken so much time. It was started by the first administration. The second administration completely left it, did not, and so we have revived it. So that's what I'm saying, we're reviving a lot of these projects. Because when you find 100 million already sunk into it, and the land is there, that 100 million is taxpayers' money. The Joseph Kangete social hall that my senator speaks about is also one such case. That was started in 2014. The next administration did nothing about it. We're the ones who've recontracted it, and it is ongoing. So Chair, I think to answer Senator Catherine Muma, maybe an updated matrix, the one we're doing in 21 days, will be useful for us, because not only will I bring the projects and our plan, I will also appeal to the Senate, pursuant to Section 6 of Urban Areas and Cities Act, for a special consideration of a conditional grant to the capital city, putting us just on the same formula. And I've grappled with this even from the time I was here, having us on the same form, and I don't want to belittle any other county, but there are certain things that a capital city must have addressed as a matter of national interest and national priority. I keep giving the example, if Engineer Tirop's sector does not get allocation and he cannot pay the lights, it's a national security crisis, for instance, for the power. And that is why, we have negotiated and have now written to the Ministry of Energy that for Nairobi City, if you look at your power bill, all of you pay power in Nairobi, I'm sure. I don't know, Senator Perez pays Tobiko, whether you stay in Nairobi now. But in your power bill, you will find an amount called REP. That REP is rural electrification. And you pay your bill in Nairobi, a huge amount, almost 3.4%, is going to rural electrification. But you need street lights outside your house. And so I've told EPRA and the Minister for Energy that for Nairobi, the REP amount, because the Nairobi power bill is 8 billion every month, or rather Nairobians pay 8 billion to Kenya Power. If we had 3% of that 8 billion ring-fenced towards public lighting, the city will be lit, because that is more than 300 million every month just for the lights, for the cables, etc. So those are the progressive discussions that we need to have, and I think this committee actually is best placed to move us. We've seen devolution for 13 years. We've seen what has been attempted in the capital, including retransfer, but we can now be able to do a report and say, look, this is how, because Section 6 of Urban Areas and Cities Act has never been implemented. And it provides for a special arrangement between the capital as the hub, a regional hub. You know, yesterday I was at the airport receiving the Prime Minister of Malaysia, you know. I know there's not a governor who would go do that because he's coming to the capital. We're doing an MOU with his capital, you know, we've done one with LA. There's certain things that Nairobi needs, that formula of distribution, or rather of equitable share, cannot address for the capital. And that is our biggest challenge. So I'll bring those projects and we say, okay, this is my budget. I will lay it all out. This is what we need. How can you help us finance those needs, Chair? Thank you.
Chair, there's a question that Senator Onyonka asked. Yeah, there is a question that Onyonka asked that the governor has not responded to, but perhaps just to jog the memory of the